it's cold. I mean, like, it's proper cold. That thing won't be turned on until probably November, but it's cold. I've been rained on all day. The wind is going to get up to 49 miles an hour. Hate it. There. Anyway, here we are. Please like, subscribe and share. Sorry, it's a bit echoey in here. It's really, I don't know why suddenly I must have moved something. Anyway, and I'm sitting in a fireplace. It doesn't help. The papers, oh my goodness, they're having a busy day today. Far right protests. That's the headline in a lot, and far-right thugs, despite the fact that So here's the deal. We've got lots of figures being reported for how many turned out for the march yesterday. It's Tommy Robinson's march, and then it's a march for freedom of speech. You know, it's got so many different owners of said march, which is perhaps why the figures vary from 110,000 to over 3 million. Who knows? Look at the pictures. We can't all sort of like go through and work them all out, although it's quite a good Where's Wally. But there were a lot of people there. Obviously, there was going to be unrest. I mean, we can't have a Notting Hill carnival without somebody falling out with somebody else. So it's not news, is it? And for a lot of the people that were there yesterday, they were nice, decent, law-abiding people who just actually don't like the way this country is going. But that's far right now. So if you're going to do that, you are a far right activist. I mean, I can see why Keir Starmers is saying that, because anyone that opposes him is far right. The reality is it's a group of people in the main who actually want their voices heard in a very peaceful and democratic way. Of course, there's some utter idiots that have to take it further. Always. We can never get away from them. They're always going to be there. They're always going to ruin it for everyone else. That's what happens. But to label everyone as far right is just fucking stupid. So that's that. Then we've got Lord Kinnock. Now, Lord Kinnock stands to benefit from a trust that reduces inheritance tax despite publicly calling for levies on personal wealth. I started calling him Lord Pillock a while ago. I think that's where we kind of end that story. Lord Pillock doesn't need any more airtime. Lord Pillock needs disarming. Basically, Lord Pillock needs to go under the stone that he crawled out of and get on with his life a long, long way away from us. He needs to have nothing to do with politics, because Lord Pillock is out purely for himself, as are most of the Labour politicians, in fact, most politicians, but certainly at the minute, most Labour politicians. So we've got Lord Pillock doing that. Laura Trott's done a good one today. Laura Trott, Shadow Education Secretary, says Starmer's authority is totally shot. Again, we know. So if we believe the word on the street, he had emails pertaining to Peter Mandelson's relationship with Jeffrey Epstein 48 hours before Prime Minister's questions. He knew about this and he lied. So that means he broke the parliamentary code. Now, if he did, then he needs to resign. So obviously there'll be a lot of scrabbling to work out whether he actually technically did or whether he technically didn't, and how we can get around it and where's the latest loophole. What he did say was that he had confidence in Mandelson. So when somebody says that, as I said with Angela Rayner, if Keir Starmer's got confidence in you, it's the death knell. And if someone's got confidence in Keir Starmer, it's also the death knell. So it's going to be a very, very bumpy ride. I mean, turbulence at number 10 is going to be extreme this week. Will he survive it? Oh, God, let's hope not. But then who's going to step into his shoes? Well, Bridget Phillipson is wielding her mealy-mouthed cat's arse. Vote for me. Everyone liked my Newcastle accent yesterday. Thanks very much, my Sunderland accent. Do you know that she was in Baker Grove? Now, how did Bridget get to be in Baker Grove? Well, her mum signed her up for drama classes. Now, my mum signed me up for drama classes when I was younger. I did the Edinburgh Festival a couple of years. It was really good. I loved it. We had to pay for it. So I'm wondering if Bridget had to pay for it. I'm wondering if Bridget's mum had to pay for these drama classes, because the stories that we're being told are that, you know, and in Bridget's latest tweet where she's put pictures of her walking slowly down the street to some like piano music, it's almost like she's channeling her inner Princess of Wales who can play the piano, and everyone when she played it at Westminster Abbey went, oh, oh, she's so clever, she's so good, which she is. And it feels like Bridget Phillipson's trying to channel that. Let's put me to some nice piano music. I mean, honestly, it needs to be Chopsticks or the Benny Hill theme tune, which is what I always think of when somebody says reshuffle, because that's what she'll be doing. Anyway, I've digressed. Bridge has got herself in this film, nice slow-mos with some lovely piano music, talking about how difficult life was for her, and somebody put some money through their door, say for her mum, saying money for a coat for Bridget, words to that effect. So Bridge is talking so much about how life was difficult, despite the fact that she went to a top Catholic school, ended up at Oxford University, and everyone that lived on her street was like, you've been a bit rude, actually. It wasn't like that. It wasn't that tough. What are you talking about? We actually really quite liked it. But no. Bridget lived in almost the ghetto. I mean, it's Bridget from the block, isn't it? You can forget Jenny from the block. Here's Bridget from the block. Bridget from the block lived in the ghetto. She chewed on coal, which is probably why she's got that mealy mouth, and life was harder for her than it was for anyone else in the country, which is why she's fighting for kids like her from her background. Not any other kid, not any other child, you don't matter, just the ones like Bridget from the block who had nothing and chewed on coal. So she's been doing a lot of that, and she's been basically talking about the tax break. She's removed the tax break for people sending their kids to independent schools. What she's done is remove aspiration. She hasn't removed a tax break because there was no tax there in the first place. She's removed aspiration. So she's punishing the working class. She's punishing the people like her mum who sent her to drama classes because she wanted better for her. She's punishing people like her mum who wanted her to go to a good Catholic school. She's punishing people like her mum who wanted her to go to Oxford University, because all of those things will have involved money. But what she's now doing is taxing people that want to do that. So for all the people that pay over the odds for an 11 plus tutor, well, that's not taxed at the minute, but it won't be long, because you're not allowed to do that. You can only have a state education that Bridget Phillipson has said okay. I mean, it's this whole equal thing, apart from the fact that none of us are equal. So why would you do that? Well, you would if you're Bridget Phillipson and you're a bit thick. I mean, I think she's sort of like quite sparky when it comes to a political debate, but other than that, I think there's nothing behind the eyes. She is dead to us all. So that's Bridge. Mum paying for drama classes, bike a grove. Somebody made a very good point. What works for one person? Why are we constantly championing inequality? What works for one person doesn't work for another person, and nor should it, because we're all individual, which is something I've been saying. If you sort of rewind the videos back to September 2024, that's what I've been saying as the very core of this. Children in particular are all individual. So to try and blanket children is like, I can't think of a good analogy, trying to sieve sand, although you can sort of sieve sand. You know what I mean. It's impossible. So we've got that going on. Oh, and by the way, apparently, and I don't know whether this is true or not, but somebody said her uncle is the dean of a college of law in Canada. Her maternal uncle, so her mum's brother. I mean, who knows? There's so many conspiracy theories going on the internet at the minute. We haven't got a clue, but I just thought that would be quite interesting. So that's Bridget Phillipson. That's Keir Starmer. That's Lord Kinnock. That's Laura Trott. And the best one, the last headline that I saw, and I thought I'm going to leave this one with you because it will give you a Sunday night raw with laughter. Funerals should comply with net zero. That is the latest Mad Ed Miliband headline. Funerals should comply with net zero. Let's wait and see how that one's going to play out. Have a good Sunday.